Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 95 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on recognizing God's hand in my life. So, yay for day 95! I'm super excited. I have 5 days left. Woo! I'm getting through my videos. Finally. I kind of took a little bit of a sabbatical and hadn't done them for a while, and so I'm so happy to get back and doing them. It boosts my spirit. It makes me feel so good. Anyway, I'm just very grateful to make my video today. Um, Today was a good day. I feel like it was a good day. I was running late and not, I was running late, just not wanting to get up and doing things. But I was able to take a nap, which I love naps. And I read my scriptures and meditationals. I read my meditationals before I went to church today, and I knew that I was leading my Al-Anon meeting this afternoon. And when I read my meditationals, one of them kind of stuck out to me. I said, I'm gonna do my lead my meeting on this topic or this page, because it's just a daily meditational for the day. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna read it and I'm gonna do it on this topic and it's gonna be fine. And then of course I had church and I had a whole bunch of other things, and then I came home and I took a nap and I got up and then I finished reading my scriptures and doing other things, and then I was like, and then I couldn't remember which one it was. And so I flipped through my meditationals and kind of glanced at them, and I saw another one, like, oh, I kind of want to do this one. And I started to grab it, and then I was like, nope, I had that little thought. I think God just put in my head, like, no, that's not the one. Go back to the one you originally thought. And I was like, okay. So I was still kind of teetering back and forth on which one to do. And I ended up leaving my meditationals at home. So thankfully, we have some extra ones that are like in our literature bag to sell to anyone if they want them at a meeting, so they don't have to order them online. So I just used one of those for my 12-step meeting. And I ended up going with the one that I originally thought of in the morning. And it was amazing because I just read it and then I shared my experience and then I listened to everybody else, and it's so amazing to me how they just each picked out something a little bit different and something that spoke to them, all from the same one little passage. But there was so much that I could get out of everything that everybody shared, and by the end of it I just felt like this was exactly what I needed, and God knew exactly what I needed. And not only did he know exactly what I needed, but someone else in the meeting, she said that was one of her favorite readings. And she's like, this describes me perfectly. And she just went off on a little tangent. She's like, in case you can't tell, I just totally love this reading. And I thought, God didn't just do something perfect just for me today. He did something perfect just for somebody else. He let someone else in that room know that he was aware of that person and that he loves that person. And it wasn't just me, and it's not just God in my life, but I got a brief glimpse to see in my meeting that God was there recognizing what everybody else in that room needed today, and not just me. And I was just the instrument in God's hand. I just happened to be the person that was leading the meeting. I just happened to listen to that little still small voice and share something that, I could relate to. And because I did that, it helped everyone else, and they were able to share something. And I mean, not everybody shared, and different people had different responses to it, but it was so amazing how everyone there was touched, and everyone had something. Well, not everyone, but most people had something to share. We had a newcomer that chose not to share, which is okay. But I felt so loved and so blessed, and I was just so grateful for God, because not only am I recognizing God's hand in my life, but it gave me a moment to recognize God's hand in other people's lives, and that little reminder that God doesn't just love me. God loves everybody, and he is there for everybody and not just for me. And I know that, but it was just so cool to see that today and to feel that today. And then to go to like family dinner at mom and dad Shoemaker's, and then to listen and to feel like I was just part of there, and to have Mom Shoemaker ask me how work was going and how this was going, and then listening to the stories that were being shared around the dinner table and learning something about them. And it was just amazing, and I felt blessed. And their daughter, she shared something about Dad Shoemaker's dad, and I didn't know what they were talking about, so I asked and I got clarification. Should probably get permission to share the story, but I'm gonna share it anyway. But I guess his dad, Shoemaker's dad, used to say that I guess it was like a basket, and if you go out in the woods to pick berries and you have a basket, how big of a basket are you taking? Because if you take a little itty bitty basket, you can only bring back this many, berries. But the bigger your basket is, the more you can bring back, the more you have. And then I kind of want to add to that, not only the more you have, but the more you have to share with other people. So it's not just for you. Is it just a little bit just for you, or is it a bigger amount for you, or is it a bigger amount that you can share with other people? And the idea was, you take the little basket to church. So whatever you take to church is the size of basket you take is what you're going to get out of it. And if you don't take a basket, you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of it. But their daughter was saying that she was teaching them, and she was saying, do your study at home, and what do you get at home, and then bring it back to church and share it, which I like that concept. But I think that applies to just about anything in our life that we, if we go to school or to work or to 12-step meetings, whatever it is that we're doing in our life, any kind of spiritual thing, or even if it's not necessarily like I said, school or something, you get out of it what you put into it. And if you bring a big basket and you're willing to learn, then you can get a whole lot more out of it. If you're hoping to learn something from it, you're coming with the expectation, I'm going to get something out of this. And not only that, you can learn something from that, you can take away from that, and then you can bring it back home and you can share it with other people. You can share it with family and friends and other people. And it's just this amazing thing, and it just grows and it gets bigger and bigger the more you share. And I don't know, I think that's how love works too. It's like you love yourself and God loves you, and you see that love and you share it with everybody else, and it gets bigger and bigger and it grows. So I thought it was a really cool kind of analogy, and kind of maybe taking it a little bit further than it was originally intended. But I like the idea, the concept that if you're open to it, the more open-minded you are, the more information you can gather, the more things you can learn. And, then the more you'll have when you need it, the bigger your reserves will be in times of crisis. And not only that, then you have extra to share with other people. And, I've been on the other end of it where I don't have a basket at all. And I feel like people are asking me to give them food, or I have a little tiny basket and they just take whatever I have and I have nothing left. So I like the idea of getting a bigger basket and having extra that I can share and give to people, so that I don't feel drained or exhausted in sharing or helping other people. And I love the concept. I love the idea. I would love to learn how to implement that into my life. That's going to take a long time. I've got lots of other things going in my life too. But I'm really grateful to have gone and to have that experience, to have that idea, that imagery, because I love imagery. It works for me in my brain. And I feel like that's just God working in my life today and showing me that I'm gathering all this information, but it's not just for me. I have it that I can share, and that I'm being open and receptive to new things in my life. And I'm learning and I'm growing because my basket's getting bigger. It has to hold all the new stuff that I'm learning. But I also get the opportunity to share it with everybody in these videos, which is fantastic. I don't have to keep it to myself, because God doesn't keep his love to himself. He shares it with the world, and he's there for everyone in the world, not just for me. Just like at my Al-Anon meeting today, where I could see his hand in everybody else's life, and how one little topic, one little meditation touched each person in a different way, and how someone else just got so excited because that was just them, and that's exactly what they needed for the day, and it wasn't just me. And I just thought that's so amazing that God knows each of us so individually, and that he can use us to help bless the lives of other people too. And so we can help other people see God in their lives by being an instrument in his hands, by listening and following and doing what he wants us to do. And I just think that's so amazing and cool. And I know that I've been the recipient of that, and I've seen God's hand in my life by other people reaching out and doing things for me and helping me and uplifting me. And I'm not saying I did anything spectacular to uplift other people. I'm just saying I ended up, I volunteered to lead the meeting for this for the day, and I picked a topic that just, it just seemed to touch people. And I needed to see that today because I was looking for God in my life. And not only did I see him in my life, I saw it in everybody else's. But you spend 95 days practicing on recognizing God's hand in your life, and it's kind of hard to miss it at this point. It's just really hard to miss it. And now it's starting to become easier to see it, God working in other people's lives, and then to see God using me to work in other people's lives is kind of an interesting concept. Not what what I knew about, but it's always that thing for me where it's like I know about it, it's there in the back of my mind or whatever, but it hasn't quite been internalized. So I think this is just the process of internalizing it a little bit and hoping that it's working just a little bit, and grateful to be an instrument and helping and sharing instead of begrudging it, because I know there have been times in my life when I hated being that voice, and I hated when people would come up and tell me that something I said just touched them in just the right way, and they just needed to hear that. And I was like, great, now I'm still giving to other people when I'm the one that needs something. And I couldn't see how that was a good thing at that point in my life, because I was just angry and hurting, and I was just feeling so empty. And then I was like, great, now I still have to be here for everybody and open my mouth. And then I closed it because I was mad and I was angry. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to open my mouth again and to let God fill it, because I know half the time I hear stuff that I need to hear that comes out of my mouth. And I was like, pretty sure that's not my thought. I'm pretty sure that's a thought that God is giving me, because I needed to hear it as much as I needed to say it. And I don't know how many other people's lives it's touching, but it's definitely touching mine. And I'm definitely learning and growing from making these videos. And I feel like I'm getting closer to God in doing that too. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for all of you that choose to watch these videos. So if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and find ways to recognize God's hand in your life too.